A web series. Hello everyone, welcome to the She Africa web series. We are going to be talking to Dr. Laurie Marker from the CCFC, the Cheetah Conservation Fund in Namibia. Hello, Dr. Laurie, how are you?
I'm great. It's so nice to be on She Africa. How fun to have a great program like this.
Yes,
So thank you for coming to Otjiwarongo, to Namibia, to talk about cheetahs.
Yes, thank you. It's our greatest pleasure, and I feel so blessed to have you as our first guest. I think you're an inspiring woman who have made choices to not only for herself, but just to better the situations of wildlife in Namibia and the cheetah. Such a beautiful animal that needs quite a lot of attention at the moment, I feel.
They do. They're Africa's most endangered big cat. And most people don't know that, but here in Namibia, this is the cheetah capital of the world, and Otjiwarongo in particular, and that's why we have based our International Research and Education Center here in the heart, working directly with the people on whose land the cheetah is living.
That's amazing. Dr. Laurie, I'd like you just to take the space out to introduce yourself and just talk a little bit about where you come from and how where you come from, what made you do what you're currently doing now.
Thank you. Well, I have an American accent, you might pick up, and I have been living here permanently in Namibia since independence, since basically 1991, but I started doing my research on cheetahs here in Namibia in 1977, so a very, very long time back. I did grow up in the United States. My background has been in livestock, in agriculture and wildlife biology, in veterinary medicine, and wildlife. So I ran a wildlife park in Oregon in the United States for a number of years, and we were one of the only places in the world that actually had cheetahs. And that's actually what led me to do my cheetah research. And I ended up here in Namibia, outside of Otjiwarongo, in the middle 1970s, finding out more about cheetahs, and I found that farmers were killing cheetahs in very high numbers. And I wanted to know why, and I wanted to get to know the farm community. And that brought me back and forth to Namibia a number of times, as well as to many other areas of Africa, to find out more about the cheetah. And at independence, I said, well, I'm going to move to Namibia and actually work together with the farmers to find out if we can solve the problems, which are revolving around kind of a perceived threat to livestock. Cheetahs can catch livestock, but to try to find out if there were actually alternatives so that people didn't have to constantly be killing this animal that I had dedicated my life to. So my background as a biologist is quite in-depth, so I've specialized in the cheetah, in the genetics, in the reproduction, in the diseases of cheetahs, and then also looked at all of the aspects of livestock and land management and wildlife management. So very broad.
Yeah. Wow, so that's quite a mouthful. I love the fact that you mentioned the word why people are doing what they're doing. Because that's quite often, more often, that's the motivation for anybody to get involved and set out on a path to do something about it, right? You've actually covered my next question, and what I wanted to ask was, I want to talk about the choice that you made getting involved with the cheetah, and actually the choice you made to start the Cheetah Conservation Fund. How has that contributed to you as an individual, and then contributed to the people that you that you interact with on a daily basis?
I think that's a really good question. I think oftentimes people think, oh, there's a problem, somebody should do something. And we think that there is a somebody. I call that the they factor. They will take care of things. Oh, and I figured the more I found out, and I kept saying, somebody's got to do something to help the wild cheetah. And everyone I turned to from all the large conservation organizations, they said, oh, we're too busy, this and that. And I said, we're losing the species because people don't know anything about it. And that's when I became a they, basically. And I set into motion something that has changed the world, where I basically said, well, I'm going to move from America to Africa to live with the people who think the cheetah's vermin and are killing them, and get to know them. And if they get to know me and I get to know them, and we work on a plan together we can save this species. And so somebody has to do things, and most people don't know how. And I just keep saying, and I say this to school children all the time, where, as you know, I do a lot of teaching and working with local, schools and children and many women as well, is that we have to do something. And how you do it, you might not always succeed. And I think taking that first step is the first step into success in anything that you want to do. I think everyone's so worried about failure or following somebody, and therefore developing leadership skills, I think, is really important. And women, I'm coming back to the women's side, is I think women, especially in Africa, are oftentimes follow the man. And I think I'm an early woman's liber, and was raised by a very strong mother who gave me many of those skills as well. And I think I teach that a lot here. We are a very large women's organization. When you were here visiting us, you saw that. We are, I'm a woman scientist. We've got geneticists and veterinarian women and women ecologists. We have men as well. But it's, I think, very important here in Africa to actually show the women's leadership. And we are constantly saying to the young women, you too can come and be a scientist. You can be a biologist. So I think that that's important. But coming back to, how do you do it? It's like stepping off, that big ledge, I'm going to say, and knowing that there is a step underneath you. You just have to look and see, and not always worry about failure, but see the successes even in your failures. If that makes sense.
That is, first of all, yay to your mom. Yay. Wow. For contributing to your life and giving you, the knowledge to be as strong as you are. So yay for her. I'd like to celebrate her. I think that's so important, Laurie, because, people, we as human beings, we tend to we want to put the blame on other people. So we tend to ask the wrong questions. And instead of going, what are other people doing about it, you should actually be asking, who is doing something about it? How do I, connect with them? How can I get involved? And more importantly, what am I doing about it?
When what I did when I first moved here permanently, and I'd known many of the people because I'd come and gone from Namibia so much, but I actually went on a door-to-door, farm-to-farm survey, and I met with farmers throughout the cheetah area of the country, from Windhoek all the way to Atasha, which is really where the cheetahs are found. And I went to the farmers' meetings, and I can't tell you how many gates I opened and went and talked to the farmers, and nobody had actually talked to them. And I didn't go and just say, I love the cheetah, you have to stop killing it. I went and understood the farm system. But my background has been in farming, and so I understand farming. I don't want to lose my livestock to a predator. But I also understood the predator. And from that, by talking to the farmer, I learned a lot about their farm management, where their wildlife was, what their grazing systems were. Why did they have a problem? And with that, I was able to actually piece together many of the different problems, many of the different solutions. And so as I would then take those solutions to the farming communities, they became their solutions. And so it was sharing that information. And that actually started much of the programs that we've got going today, which we call Future Farmers of Africa, where it's teaching farmers that we don't have to lose our livestock to a predator, that we have solutions. So I've learned a lot also in these years on working with the farmers on knowing more about how the cheetah lives by putting radio collars on them and tracking them and sharing with them that the cheetah's covering 800 to 1,600 square kilometers. I mean, these are huge areas, huge. And with that, they live in very small numbers. And if you manage your livestock appropriately and have calving seasons and put your calves in a corral when they're up to a month old, most of your loss, not only the cheetah but all the other predators, are really under that 1 month of age. And good health care. And all of those came together, and those are the things now that we teach rural farmers, farm workers, commercial farmers throughout not just Namibia, but people come here now from all around Africa to learn about the programs that we've developed and are implementing them in other countries. So it's kind of exciting. Part of that really revolves too around solutions. And I know you met our livestock guarding dogs, and we're interested in knowing more about them as well. So.
Yeah, wow. That is inspiring. Yeah, it is. It really is. Like, I have to mention the word love, because that is where it comes from. Creation comes from. And you have to look at the problems and issues at hand and really look at how, humankind and animal kind and plant kind can live together on this planet, And I applaud you for the work that you've implemented and that you've been doing, because I think it's so important, especially in a country where I've found from my experience growing up as a child is that, you meet a lot of people in the farming community, and you meet a lot of people in hunters, and I am not pro-hunting in any way. And I've also had the misfortune of meeting people who really just go out shooting, killing animals because they like it. It's fun for them. And I think that's also where the cheetahs had a lot of misfortune, and where the species actually been, where we've lost so many of them.
Well, hunting does play an important role, and Namibia has a lot of wildlife, fortunately, and our wildlife has grown. And with that, the development of what we call conservancies and a lot of good training that's got in. When I actually did my survey, and again, this was nearly 25 years ago, so a long time ago, as I started this, and I kept asking the farmers, well, what would be the solutions? I told them about the cheetah and how special it was, and one of the oldest of the cats, the most unique and the fastest of all the land animals, elegant and beautiful and fast. I mean, I just think it's the most amazing animal in the world, and they'd never looked at it through eyes like that. And from that, I would say, well, here's what I know, here's what I've learned from you in management. How do you think together we can manage and save the species? It's living on your land, it's living on the farmlands, not in the game reserves, because the lions and hyenas kill the young and steal the food, and they get pushed out of these game reserves. So with that, they're going to be on your farmland. How can we do this together? And the farmers actually came back and they developed our programs. They said, we want to know more about wildlife management. We've got wildlife on our land. We hunt, but we don't really know, what is sustainable. We don't really know that much about the wildlife movements in the land. And so that was a very important piece. And we study the wildlife here so that we can share that. Then they said, we are farmers, but it's not like we really know that much about livestock farming. We need more training in those aspects of it. So that's where we developed this integrated livestock and wildlife management training program. And then, interestingly, the farmer said, we've been pretty isolated here, because it was a country where there was a lot of apartheid and people were not internationally coming into the country. They said, we really need environmental education. Help us with that. And then they said, the cheetah's living on our land. We don't know if it's a dog or a cat. What's the difference between it and a leopard? Help us through understanding the ecology of it, the biology of it. So that's actually how our whole program really developed, and feeding it back to the farming community. So hunting here plays a key role, and as the hunters have become more involved, they've not hunted as much, so it's not like just going out and blasting them. Our wildlife has a huge value. That value then also plays a role into tourism, because if people are going to come here to Namibia as tourists or any other country of Africa, they don't want to just come and see livestock. They want to see predators. They want to see the beauty of the cheetah. They also want to see people who can live in harmony. And so that integrated system, I think, is very, very, very important. And those are the things that I've seen develop in the 25 years, and I'm proud to say that I've been a part of all of that. As a woman, I've been a part of the farmer associations. I've been part of and actually leading the conservancy associations. And they've allowed me in because of my science background as a leader, too, and just saying, look at guys and gals, we can go forward. We can actually bring Namibia to being at the forefront of conservation in the world.
Oh, that's amazing, Laurie. You know, I see you as an individual that's being, you know, and if you look at the word being, apart from being the being that you are, just being, you know, the leader, being the good example, being that courageous, inspiring individual that loves and goes out and changes, you know. You're being the change that we wish to see in the world. That's how I see you at the moment. So yeah, thank you for the work that you're doing. You know, it's valuable, very, 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 very valuable. My next question to you is let me just see. Do you think Namibians can get more involved with nature and wildlife, like the general population, like the general Namibian, you know, like full towns, like every single person, that they should get more involved?
Yes, they should. And that's, again, very, very important, and something that goes on in my mind all the time. Because oftentimes people like myself and other conservationists, we spend our time talking to the converted. So you're singing with the choir all the time. What we need to do is to constantly be taking our message to the general populace. With the school programs that we do, we are constantly talking to school children. You know, it doesn't matter what you're going to be, a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, a housewife, a farmer. All of you, all of us, everywhere, need to be conservationists. And conservation is not just one job. It's not me. It is how it fits in everyone's lives. And what we need to do is put that into our lives, from a point of recycling to a point of appreciating the birds that are out there, the bees that are giving us, you know, food, because they're so tied into to pollination, and we need them, and we don't understand how everything is connected. And I always call that kind of the basics of biology, that all of us actually, we should actually get a certificate that says we're human. And from that, we understand that we're connected to everything. And how we get into our cities, 50% of all the population in the world today are now living in cities, and they are disconnected. They don't know where the food comes from. They don't know where their milk comes from, or the eggs. And we need to connect. We love our elephants and our cheetahs, and we think, oh, they're supposed to live in a game reserve. And yet in the world today, it's not just a square box. It really revolves around us being outside of that box and being a part of a much larger system. And how to do that are things that I hope you can help share more and more with, because you know your show, and if women are watching this, to think that, wildlife, we think it's pretty, but what does that mean? how is it connected to our lives? And somehow we need to make those connections regularly.
Yes. Being in South Africa, and I'm currently living in Cape Town. You know, on this side, people are a lot more conscious about not using as many shopping bags, or really eating more organic, and really just going out of your way to not make as much litter. And it's difficult because you live in the city, and you're surrounded with people that either do it or they don't do it. And then I go back to Namibia, and it's such a spectacular country. It's beautiful. It's this amazing piece of land with these amazing people, but yet I find that some people don't care. They have the mentality of going, it's not my problem, other people will do it. It's not my problem, the rubbish man will pick it up. It's not my problem because it's apparently just not their problem. And I think that's so sad because, in Namibia, the population isn't that high. And it's a perfect platform for people to really unite and stand together and go, actually, yes, that is my problem because I breathe in the same air. I live on the same land. I walk in the street with the same people that I can either choose to be part of the change, or I can choose to really take care of them or not. And it's this mentality of getting people out of their homes and their houses, and that stuck mindset of not being a part of something amazing and a part of something that could change the way things are. When you go up to Rundu and you see, it's next to this beautiful Kavango River, but then there's so much rubbish lying around. And I've spoken to people about it. I'm saying to them, why don't we get groups of people together to pick it up? And they go, like, Petro, it's a waste of time. And that, to me, I've never been somebody who gets that, who says that it's a waste of time living, or a waste of time cleaning up planet Earth and looking after our animals and making sure that, our wildlife is actually getting to the food and not getting to the plastic.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and people don't see that. They'd rather go and sit over a weekend, close the shutters, close the doors, and watch Hollywood movies. Which is doing what? What is it doing for you? Nothing. You could be going out meeting with conservationists and with people like yourself, and getting, attending classes, workshops, seminars that could improve your life and your understanding of your environment and people around you and animals around you. But yet, I find that people don't do that.
Well, we do need to do more. I always welcome everyone to come down here to the Cheetah Conservation Fund. We've got a lovely education research center, and you were here not long ago, and maybe you have to come up here and spend more time with us, maybe doing programs around, and we try to maybe share this with people throughout Africa, because I think it takes mentors. It takes people to say, look through a different set of eyes. And that enthusiasm that you have is catching as well. It's really important that we do get this through. So I'm looking forward to working closer with you over time as well on this. So
part of what we'd like to do with Share Africa is we'd like to say to people, if you're not happy with that 9-to-5 job that you're busy with, then it's obviously not the right thing for you to do. If you're feeling heavy about wherever you are currently in your life, then that's not where you should be. So part of our thing was to actually get in contact with women like yourself, and with projects and initiatives, and just like even an ordinary 9-to-5 job, and actually going in there and looking at what people are doing with their lives. How are they spending their 9-to-5s, and then their 6-12s or their 8-to-12s? What are they doing with their time on planet Earth while they have the time and the space to be here? So yes, from our side, we'd love to come. You've got a fantastic cheese making factory from goat cheese. It is divine. It is. My mouth actually starting to water. at the moment because I've tasted it and it's lovely. And we bought so much, and it's not that expensive, you know. Like when we bought it, I thought like, geez, is this it? Is this what it costs? Like it's like I should buy more, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Um.
our cheeses are very good, and it's part of our rural development program too. So we're teaching a lot of people how to take care of their livestock, how to make a cheese product, which is then good for you as well. There's hygiene a part of that. So we're enjoying doing it, and we're really glad that you like it. We love to get it throughout Namibia more and more. You can get it like at Spar and Ochi, at Spar down in Windhoek. But people don't know that much about goat cheese. In South Africa, I know it's very popular. It's very popular. So it's growing up here. We're just at that pioneer stage, I think. So.
Yeah. Well, that's, you know, that for me is a perfect platform to invite women and men. I mean, you see it all through South Africa. You know, they've got like a chocolate making seminar, or like a beer making seminar, or a wine making seminar, or something happening in South Africa. You go to Namibia and nothing's happening, and this could be something, a platform that could. It's just another way of connecting with people and getting them into, you know, closer to the CFC and closer to the information and the education that's available. So something fun.
One of the things that you also mentioned, at least about the 9-to-5 job, I always say, no matter what you do, have fun with it. I mean, I say that to all the people that I work with, and I do every job that there is on a farm, as well as, you know, manage and do my science, and everything that you do should always be fun. So when you go to work, be happy, and then you make everyone else happy around you, and then that also makes everything change for the better. So life's too short to not be happy.
Life is too short. Well, I always say life's life. You know, make the most of it, and don't worry about how much time you have left or how much time you've wasted. Just what can you do now that will be the best for you and the people around you? You know, what is it that you can be at the now that will create the most for you? Um, so we've talked about the CCA in this video that people can go to, you know, to the website, to the Facebook page, to read more about it and to interact with you and all your amazing stuff that's currently working under for you. I'd like to speak a little bit more personal, you know, to get to know the Dr.Laurie Marker, the woman. And what I'd like to ask you is have you ever had a low point, a very, very low point in life where you just felt, I don't want to be here. This is hard. I don't want to do this. I want to check out. I want to move on to the next life. You know, the planet Earth is too much for me. Have you ever felt like that?
No, I've never felt that bad, fortunately. But again, my outlook on life is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's days I go, I want to run away, you know, and then I go, I can't run, I can't hide. You know, okay, well, let me face it. There's nowhere to go. They'll find me everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's kind of figuring that out as well, is that, you know, there is nowhere to go, and just nothing is that bad. And I have had many bad days, and I tell my young staff now, and my interns and students that are here, that now I've been through everything, that every day, you know, there's never anything as bad as what I've already been through. So, you know, whether it's, you know, farmers killing animals, or, you know, your car getting hit, or, you know, you ending up with a broken back in a after a car accident or something. There's nothing that bad. We can get through it. It's figuring out what it looks like. And time is healing. And as you get through the other side and then you look back, you know that you know, it's just another mountain. And you get through one mountain and it gives you the strength to get through another mountain. So, you know, I think that that's a lot of it, is just having that kind of an outlook that nothing is is something that you can't get through. And time is healing.
So, Laurie, how do you start your day in the mornings? Like, what's your ritual when you wake up?
Well, I'm an animal person, so my ritual revolves around animal care. And I usually get up and start by riding my horse every morning. And we're usually up riding earlier as everything else is getting started. I'm able to find out where all the wildlife has been around the kind of circular area close by the farm. From there, I've got dogs to take care of and goats to take care of and cheetahs to look at and make sure that they're okay. Staff then that starts coming in, phone calls that come in, emails that have to be caught up on. So I try to get up and out into the bush first thing in the morning because the rest of the day comes to me. Yesterday afternoon, we ended up with the local dentist from Ochibarango who came out and did a root canal on one of our orphan cheetahs here. So every day is different. A couple weeks ago, we had a special eye surgeon that came and had to do a special surgery on one of our, again, orphan cheetahs. Those are special times. We have goats that are born or sheep that are born regularly, or we might get a call from a farmer saying, I've just had a cheetah catching livestock, what do I do, help me? Or we might be over in Herrero land working with our rural community or a bunch of farmers or school children. So every day is sort of a blending of that, and there's no day that is the same. It's just active, active, active.
Yeah. Beautiful. Active, 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 active. Yeah, I like that. Actively involved in life. That's yeah, that's good. The one thing that I want to mention is people might listen to the talk and they go like, oh, but they're helping animals, and what about all the starving humans? What I'd like to mention is that there's no life that's more valuable than another life. Everything's equal. And when we as human beings can move into a space where we can acknowledge that, I think that things will change dramatically for everyone on this planet. So as to, yeah. Yeah. So,
but also I think if you look at that though too, is that if we can make the quality and work with people with the quality of their life, then they learn that they can take care of animals as well. And so it is, and this is part of, I think, this Future Farmer of Africa program, is that it's all our future, and Africa is really revolves a lot around a farming community and our love for actually the animals in such a way, more maybe towards that of our lifestyles. But as we learn how to take care of those animals, we learn how to take care of ourselves as well. And we, from our program, actually deal with the people as much as we do the cheetah. And as I always say, the work we do is sort of a big pyramid. And the cheetah's at the top, and there's very little bit over here. And everything that we deal with is these layers, from the lands to the livestock to the people to the education. And from that, then, as I say, to save the cheetah, we have to change the world. And after 25 years, our motto now is making the world change so that we can save the cheetah and the other wildlife that we're living.
Yeah, it's incredible. This incredible animal is bringing people together, and it's all happening under your roof. And that is amazing. You've accomplished a lot, and it's just. I'm sort of an like, why couldn't I do that? Why didn't I think of that? Because that's what happens is when people are doing amazing things and they're living their lives and they're doing, they're creating the changes. You go like, oh, but I also want to do something. Like, what is it that I can do? And that's what I'd like people to focus on is anything. Anything is that's the answer. Is you can do and be anything you'd like to be. And it all starts with a choice. It all starts with a choice. So you've shared so much information, Dr. Laurie, and the next question I have is if you could share a little bit more advice on, if you to share one thing with women and women in Africa and globally, what would that be? What would your message be?
Well, I think I would have to say, especially in the African context, well, but I think globally, is that um, just stand on your own 2 feet, take care of yourself. Um, Women are leaders, mothers, women, and oftentimes I think that has been suppressed. And I see it a lot within the rural communities, as well as women in the cities or out on the farms. Is that it's to take we've been given kind of put into a subservient role. I don't think I have, I'll put it that way, but how to actually be able to take charge of your own life, to protect your body so you don't have lots of children, and to protect yourself against HIV and AIDS or abuse, which is physical and mental, which is oftentimes given to us by men. That those things we have to protect ourselves, and if that's happening to you, walk away. Find a way to walk away. Find another woman to help you. Um, don't don't allow that mental or physical abuse. Take care of yourself. You are a leader. Uh, as a woman, our job is to take care of our families, our children. Our responsibilities are huge, and with that, take care of yourself, and from that, your children, your inner circle will help take care of you, and we have to take care of the world.
Yeah, we have to take care of the world. Yes, I'd like to add something to that. I find that in communities, well, in Africa more so, it is women getting abused. But if you take it into global perspective, it's women abusing men, men abusing women. And I've expanded quite a bit in the last couple of years, and I've reached an understanding, or not an understanding, but um, I've reached a space where I say to people that if you're being abused or you're abusing somebody, you really need to go and seek help
Yeah.
and look at that and don't judge it, because quite often people that abuse are people that have been abused, and if you judge them, it's just going to continue because you're not really working together with that being um, to rehabilitate whatever sadness they have or issue they have or hurt they have that hasn't been addressed or acknowledged by society and by even by themselves. So yes, as far as She Africa is concerned, like I'd like She Africa to be the voice of choice, and that you make a choice, you go out and look for the opportunity, or you create the opportunity, and you see what is possible for you. And we'd like to reach into the hearts and homes and houses, offices, desks, holidays that you go on. We'd like to reach you wherever you are when you require it the most. And we'd like to bring people to the hangouts who can empower you to just being their loving selves and being their incredible, doing what they're doing. Living in the now is what can I do now to better my life now and to better the people around me. And I keep on saying that, and I think that you are one of those people. And I'm excited to see where this is going to go to and what we can co-create together for women in Africa and then globally.
Well, good. I am excited to be a part of this, and let's see Africa grow and grow and get in the hearts and minds of all the women.
So before we finish off, Dr. Laurie, be the invitation. This is a platform for women to invite people to be a part of whatever they're working on. And I'd like you just to take 30 seconds out, just to be the invitation to whoever's watching to get involved with the Cheetah conservation about your floor.
Well, I'd love people to become involved, and they can become involved in a variety of ways by asking a lot of questions. And I can say that they can go to our website, which is cheetah.org, and learn more about what's going on, or ask us questions there, or go to our Facebook page. A lot of the information is there. We take volunteers. people and school interns, so university students, in a variety of different aspects. So there are many different ways that people can get involved with us. Spread the word. We didn't talk a lot about the cheetah. I think the cheetah is a part of a whole big system, which is the system of ecosystems that need to be healthy, that these people are a part of it, and that Africa is a very, very special continent, that we're all very lucky to be here. But with that, we have a lot of challenges ahead of us, and we've used the cheetah to try to help address many of those challenges, and we need a lot of help in a variety of areas, of community programs, education programs. And there are cheetah programs actually in many of the different countries throughout southern Africa as well that people could also get involved in. And we're all doing the same thing in education and trying to change the world. I welcome everybody to come to Otjiwarongo, to the cheetah capital of the world, where you're from as well. The center of the universe, I think, because we are changing the world from Otjiwarongo. And we want everyone to come here and to actually be a part of that change.
That was beautifully said. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And I hope that people, whoever's listening and watching this, and then who will be watching this, that you make a choice to get involved with something that's actively changing the way things are. And if you're not happy with your life, go and do something that's meaningful, because within that you'll find purpose and you'll find your own voice. And you could be the next person that could go out and just be and create spectacular initiatives. So yes, get involved. And Dr. Laurie, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know that you're incredibly busy. Just to take the time out and speaking to us and inspiring us, and we'd love to interview you again in a future time. And we will be coming to Namibia. I'm planning a tour through Namibia in 2015, and so we're just waiting on sponsorship for that. And once we have that, I'd very much like to invite and have like a networking event at the CCFC and see what's possible.
Thank you.
So thank you and have a blessed day, and look forward to conversing with you. Oh, and before I forget, we would like to sponsor you a business listing on the sheafrica.net platform, and that's going to be a lifetime sponsorship. So I'm going to get in contact with your team and to get you onto the site. Yeah. So from our side to your side, so yes, welcome to the She Africa Say Hello Entrepreneur Africa Network for Africa and Namibia. And we're so blessed to have you join us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So that was that. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye, Dr. Laurie Marker. Bye.